Welcome to Marvelicious Toys. We bring you news and reviews of Marvel toys, statues, and more. Because not all Marvel collections can be bagged and boarded. They're not just toys, they're Marvelicious.
Well, to go from one retro style figure to another really retro style figure, our friends at Diamond Select have sent us something to review that Marjorie has really been wanting just to get her hands on.
Yes, and I didn't want to admit that I wanted them because I feared that you guys would laugh at me.
I buy Titan figures. Nobody laughs at me.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, not that you know of. Not that you know of.
I don't read the comments. Never read the comments. Well, we're talking about the Diamond Select Toys retro Marvel figures. And what these are, I'd wished for these toys for a while. When we started collecting Marvel, there was a series of about 8 or 9 inch DC Comics figures that hung out at Toys R Us, right at the end of the aisle where the Marvel toys were. And they would have their cloth soft goods outfits and packaged on a blister like the later Megos. And I'd say to Marjorie repeatedly, man, I wish there was something like that for Marvel. And the closest we came was Captain Action, and that just did not work for me.
Yeah, that was a little bigger and not in the same scale as the Mego of our childhood.
I like those for some reason. And I don't know why, but I never bought any. I like the idea. Does that make sense?
Yeah, they just weren't all the way there yet.
Exactly.
I can see the appeal of them.
But what they're hitting with me, and I bought some of those soft goods Spider-Man figures a while back at Toyman. We talked about those on a very early show. It all harkens back to me, to my childhood. It is nostalgia to the max, because I loved my Mego figures when I was a kid. Marvel and DC, I didn't know they weren't all one happy family. And I would take my Spider-Man Mego and my Superman Mego. I took my Superman Mego to get a haircut one time and told the hairdresser, give me his haircut. And she put a curl on my front.
Oh, that's the cutest thing ever.
I was probably 4.
Oh my God.
I went everywhere with my Mego figures. And so I've been wanting to recapture that, be it through Action Jackson, who I never bought, or through those Spider-Man figures I did, and especially on my birthday when Marjorie indulged me with the greatest gift, the original Mego Avengers, Cap, Hulk, who I had as a kid, and Thor and Iron Man, who I didn't. And I've had those on display in our recording studio since the day she gave them to me.
In awesome bags, by the way, too. I still remember that. Those color-coordinated bags. How awesome.
That was great, and Arnie didn't get it.
He was too excited about what was in the bags to care about the color coordination.
That's correct, yes. I'd like to think that.
But Diamond took my nostalgia one step further with their retro line of Marvel superheroes. Diamond Select Toys had been producing replica Megos or modernized Megos for a long time, but they weren't able to do the Marvel ones until very recently. And we first saw these in a booth at San Diego Comic-Con. They only shipped a little while ago, but now there are 3 of these characters out in what I consider wave 1 of 4 characters, just they didn't ship all at once. But the packaging all references the same 4 characters. They first put out Spider-Man, then Captain America, then Wolverine, and coming very soon is Thor. And Wolverine was never a Mego figure, by the way. This is his first time. And the packaging on these is astounding. I see these in Diamond's booth with the nice boxes, and you get 3 outfits. It's not trying to reproduce Mego so exactly. It is kind of Captain Action in that you get 1 body, but 3 total outfits. So when you get Spider-Man, you have 3 different ways you can dress your Spider-Man.
I see he has some casual clothes there.
Yeah, you get a Peter Parker identity with him.
That's kind of cool.
Casual Friday Spider-Man.
You can put a sweater over him. Yes, you can play dress up with these. And that could be kind of fun. The only reason I didn't rush out to buy these is because I thought they were Mego-ish, And Zach Oat, who we've interviewed on the show a million times, I mean, he has a history with Mego in that he worked at Toy Fair magazine, which had the awesome Twisted Toy Fair theater that starred Mego Spider-Man and a whole bunch of Megos that really existed, and they customized a whole bunch of Megos that didn't. And Zach, sometimes in the opening editorial panels, would be interacting with some of those figures. So I thought these were, like what Lego is to Flego. I thought this was, Mego to Fleego or something. I mean, I didn't get it.
Fleego? I like that. Would it be like Fago, like the soda?
Yeah, maybe. Fago. I like that.
You're welcome.
I was a little bit hesitant because of the price. Each of these sets has an MSRP of $80. And for what I consider to be kind of a redone Mego, I'm like, for the price of two of the modern ones, I can actually just get one of the real ones from the 70s and have that loose.
For the price of all three of them, you could get a Hot Toy one.
Seriously. So I held off, but I talked to Zach. Zach wanted us to review them, so he sent me the first three, plus one to give away. We're going to get into that. And, all right, the packaging is gorgeous. When I get it in my hand and can see it, the front has a nice display. They've got all three outfits, kind of like a store wall if you were buying clothing, just laid out to show you what the outfits look like. And on the back is a giant portrait of the character doing it.
The packaging is what drew me in on these, is because the boxes are it's a very retro style, because it does look like a toy that was transported from the 70s, like they're aiming for, but it's so well done with the portraits and the little box that comes with it, and the clothes are laid out like when you used to get Barbies.
I never got Barbies, I will say that.
I had very few because I cut their hair and burned them and things.
But what I hadn't really put together, I mean, you see things at cons, you're a little overwhelmed. I hadn't ever seen these in a store. When I got it home, it really was driven to me. There's a box inside a box here. Inside this long tray box, which it wouldn't make a good display. If you're mint-in box, that box doesn't stand up very well. So I don't think the intent was that you would display them in the big tray, but you, inside the tray, have a classic Mego style box, just like the first Megos. I mean, when I was buying Megos, they were in the blister cards. I was, a second gen Mego buyer. But this is how the first Megos came, in little, 10-inch boxes by 1 inch wide. And you have now a reproduction of that with a reproduction Mego figure. It's not intending to be Mego-like, like those DC ones. This is a Mego reproduction. Because what really sold me, when I went from, these look cool and remind me of my childhood, to these are flippin' awesome. Each one comes with a book or a pamphlet of sorts. I mean, it's very long. Each one's about 25 pages, and it is a walk through history. This booklet alone is probably, to me, worth half the MSRP of these figures. You open it up, and it has a letter from Dr. Mego, and it reveals that these are not manufactured by Diamond Select. Diamond Select got the license and went to the people who own MegoMuseum.com and Dr. Mego, Mego customizers for a long time, Mego experts. One of them, Marjorie had even talked to when buying my Mego for advice about, what are you looking for? How can you tell the repros? Which is more important when it comes to Cap Shield? Getting reproduction decals for Cap Shield.
There's a great Mego Museum website where I connected with a lot of these people.
Those are the ones who make these figures.
I believe it. These guys are really passionate about it.
The Spider-Man that comes in that box has a head that was cast from the original Mego Spider-Man head.
Oh, wow.
That is really cool.
And they went through painstaking details to get the paint right and get it accurate and not be what would Mego make if Mego was here today, but to really drive home the old school Mego feel. And there's a history of the Mego action figures for Spider-Man. I mean, in addition, you start by just reading about customizers and seeing the Spider-Man Mego customs you've done. There's an amazing one in the booklet of a Peter Parker with a half Spider-Man mask next to a Mary Jane. None of these were made, but they take other Megos from other lines and paint them and sculpt them and create amazing things.
Wow. See, that's a line of customizing I never even considered because, well, I don't have a sewing machine, and that would be kind of a high cost of entry, I would believe.
A lot of them silkscreen.
Oh, yeah. Not a bad idea.
They find the outfits that are close and silkscreen as needed. And they give you a history of the Mego figure and why they did what they did. Like, I didn't know this, but there were, in their words, countless variations of the 8-inch Spider-Man's costume in its original run. They had all types of different changes to the outfit. I mean, Spider-Man was made for about a decade, and they just changed stuff up. They changed the outfit a little bit and changed the head a little bit, because the head on this, cast from the original, is very different from the head I was used to. It has a tighter webbing pattern.
Huh.
And so when they were deciding which one to do, they recreated the rarest of the Mego Spider-Mans, what they call the circle suit that has a little circle around the spider on his chest.
This is great. Like, I feel like I'm getting history here that I had no idea existed because I've never really looked too close into the Mego stuff because it wasn't part of my childhood so much. Actually, some of our longtime listeners might remember that I was quite anti-Mego because I used to have nightmares from a TV show I once saw of a kid melting his brother Spider-Man Mego, so...
Are you going to be okay, Justin, to go to bed tonight?
I might.
I mean, if you get scared,
I'm shaking a little bit.
You can call us.
I might have to.
I understand. Completely do.
Well, I've been to Mego Museum a couple of times, and I looked at stuff primarily when I'm looking to buy a Mego and looking at like the larger 12-inch Mego Hulk I have and things, but I never had found on their site, and maybe it's there, but such a concise article that talks about the Spider-Mans through the ages and why they picked the alternate outfits they did. They discussed all of the construction of these figures in like the last 5 pages of this.
Wow.
And this is something that will really get you, Justin, I think. The body is not an original Mego body. Instead of, I mean, obviously, it's not even sculpted from one. They used a Type 2 body that Diamond Select adapted from a base body that one of the Mego Museum Dr. Mego people reproduced years ago. It has the string from the original format to keep the joints on, but they've added posability by notching the knees and elbows and added screws to the torso so the joints are tighter and it can actually hold a position.
Whoa.
The Megos were very loosey-goosey, even as children.
Mm-hmm.
And they quickly got even more loose and become problems where, like, they're dragging their arms sometimes, or the arms just come off. So that's really nice that they made these for a little bit more durability.
Yeah, the elbows and the knees are really tight. I think that with posing, they loosen. They're those notched ones, so there's like 4 different places you can put the knees and the elbows the way it goes.
Yeah, they click a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
But it's bringing back memories to play with this one about how the wrists were hinged and the wrists moved and the ankles moved and the knees. It's just holding this figure. I am 4 again. And with this book that it comes with, I'm just enthralled with the history I can learn, including of non-8-inch Mego figures. They have like Spider-Man through the ages. They have a picture of like the rarest Mego Spider-Man item, the Spider-Man coin bank. And that a Spider-Man actually had a Spider-Mobile in the 8-inch scale that the figure could sit in. I mean, just a blast through history that I was too young to remember.
I never delved into getting you the vehicles because I didn't think you ever had them. Because when we had your old toys, I only saw the figures in there.
Yeah, I never had any of those. I didn't even know they existed. And by the time I was buying them, they might have been gone.
I had the Batmobile, but that's a different show.
Yeah. Our DC-licious.
Yep. Coming right after Comic-Con.
And then the alternate outfits this comes with. You get a Peter Parker, and he comes with like blue pants that I guess are like blue jeans of sorts.
I think those are dungarees, yes.
And then a white button-down shirt, a yellow sweater to put over the white shirt.
It's a sweater vest. It's so cute.
Aunt May wants to make sure he's warm.
Yes.
a Peter Parker head. These have swappable heads, and they really went back and researched John Romita Sr.'s art to figure out how to make this head look. And they talk about all the different ways John Romita had drawn it and how they had to decide which one. He comes with a pair of glasses that are hysterically oversized to barely fit on the head.
They're hilarious.
And this is where it might break your rule, Justin. He has loafers.
But what would Peter Parker wear? He has to wear shoes.
Yeah, I suppose he probably didn't wear tennis shoes back then. They just drew him with like plain old brown shoes.
That's exactly what he comes with. And he has non-Spider-Man hands. So he has like flesh-colored hands.
Well, that makes sense.
And I never knew this, but there actually was a line of Mego figures, if I knew this I'd forgotten, exclusive to Montgomery Ward that was Secret Identities. And there was a Peter Parker in that line. But
wow, Montgomery Ward.
Yeah.
Yeah, how long ago that closed? Like 15 years ago?
Yeah, at least.
But what they'd done, and the book tells me about this, is it was a quick knockoff. They just took other Mego figures and literally kit bashed something together and called it Peter Parker. They didn't want to reproduce what they consider, what's not a great figure to begin with. So they went back and designed him as if Mego had done him as a featured figure instead of just a kit bash back in the day. That's why he has the 70s look and the 70s outfit.
Very nice. I don't have an answer on how to better do it, but there's something a little off-putting by having the heads just floating above the outfits. But I know you can't put them in there because it almost look like you're getting three figures. You don't want to false advertise, but it's a little weird with floating heads everywhere.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, there's just no good way to do extra body parts.
Yeah, looks like a lot of dismemberment going on from set to set.
And I'll say this one, each one got progressively easier, but Spider-Man was a bear to get all these parts out. Inside this gorgeous tray, the 8-inch Mego box had double stick tape on the side of the box. And so I'm like, wow, I want to take this out. I'm trying to decide, do I display Spider-Man with a stand, the Mego stands like Marjorie got me for my real Megos, or do I display him in this gorgeous retro box? But the fact that it was taped there makes me like, I'm nervous to put it back in case it damages the box.
Yeah.
And then the clothes were tied down on the top of the blister with those little, they look like the letter I, like you get on clothes. They're kind of milky where you put the price tags.
Oh, yeah.
Those are holding them down, and they use such small ones that I had to be very careful getting in there with a box cutter to release them. And all the other accessories are under a blister pack that you cannot get into without destroying the box.
Ah, that's kind of a bummer. So it's either never open it or open it and forget about the packaging.
Exactly. I did my best to try to be careful with it. I ended up leaving the blister there and not tearing the box. But I did weaken the corners a little bit where I was box cutting. But yeah, and then the third outfit, they did an upgraded Spider-Man. Like, what would he have been if Mego had better tech? They put the underarm webs there. And he has actual Mego-style boots that are webbing. So if they just not made him wear footy pajamas. I mean, and the accessories. You get the spider belt from the era that has the camera on the front. You get as a camera for Peter Parker to be taking photos with. Actual web shooters you can put on him. I was blown away. Just totally blown away by this.
I think that someone like you obviously would really enjoys this. And I don't know if this is enough to bring Justin into this style of figure, but I think if you grew up with the Megos or played with them or have a fondness for them, this is just going to be remarkable for you.
Yeah, I think that's exactly where I come down on this. It's like, I don't necessarily have a fondness for these figures from my childhood because I had a few, but as soon as Star Wars came around, that was it for me. I was a Star Wars kid from then on out. But I can see guys our age and just a little bit older going just absolutely crazy over these, especially with the attention to detail that you're talking about and the history in there. It's almost kind of turning me. I'm kind of thinking, wow, maybe I wouldn't mind one of these, but it's impressive.
Yeah, and each one gets better. The Captain America still had the double taped box, but the outfits were no longer using those milky ties. Instead, they put like almost a half mannequin of bubble under him, like they molded malleable plastic to hold a body shape of the outfit.
It's acetate that they use to make like a weird mannequin to put the
Oh,
clothes
they
on.
just vacuum formed it that way, yeah.
Uh-huh. And it has a little tab so that to pull the outfits out, you don't have to destroy the bubble. If you want to get at the boots, the heads, and the shields, you do.
Ah.
And this Captain America is so much like the one Marjorie got me. It is amazing. The color of blue is slightly lighter, but keep in mind I'm looking at a figure that's 40 years old, so it may have changed color slightly over time. They even replicated the wrinkles on the shield.
From the sticker, because the sticker technology was not there.
Yeah, they just had a cut sticker that they put on and it wrinkled every eighth of the way around the shield, and they replicated that to a T.
That's great. Because if you put a flat sticker on a domed surface, it's going to have extra material.
Yep, that's exactly what they did. And they did another undercover outfit. You get a World War II era Captain Rogers outfit with an alternate head with the blonde hair and kind of the military fatigue type clothing. And you get the classic shield.
That's almost like a straight up original G.I. Joe type of figure you got going on there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he even comes with a little army helmet that he can wear.
That's kind of cute. I wish it was a different outfit and had his iconic leather jacket.
Yeah, but that's not comic accurate.
Yeah.
That's from the movie. They're really trying to look at what was the 70s interpretation of Steve Rogers. And then, of course, they talk in the book about all the inaccuracies Mego did. They just used DC boots. He isn't wearing those boots that have the little, pirate boots that Captain America wore. And they didn't put gloves on him. I mean, Captain America wears gloves, and there's no gloves on Mego Captain America. They didn't even paint the sleeves any different. And so they reproduced that to a T, but then you get the upgraded version of the more accurate, and they've got different fabrics sewn together, and they put the red at the end of the sleeves. You get red hands to reproduce the gloves. You get a full plastic shield that's a lot like what we'll get with a Marvel Legend instead of the sticker shield. Just, again, amazing. And a book that I'm literally going to sit down and read every page of the books that this comes with.
Huh. Yeah, I'm marveling at this outfit. The detail, they made little belts for the updated version. That's awesome. He's got a little belt buckle there.
You can definitely tell these are something made by fans, though.
Yeah, the fact that these are done by connoisseurs and using the techniques that they've done for their own loving customs. And now Diamond has realized these are the experts and gone to them, and they've figured out a way to work with Diamond to mass produce these things. Although I have to say, these are limited to 3,000 per run. They are numbered and limited. The third set he sent me is the Wolverine set. And here I noticed the packaging got even better still. Gone is the double stick tape on the 8-inch box.
Nice.
And a lot of the sections of the blister are now peel away. You couldn't put the stuff back in a blister, but if you don't want to have to get out a box knife and risk ruining the box trying to cut the blister off, a lot of it was tear away. But Wolverine is the first figure they're doing that hasn't ever been done by Mego.
Except when they did the Fonz, because they just took that outfit for his casual wear.
Yeah. But I love that they looked at what would Mego be able to do at the time? What would be considered a choking hazard in the 70s? How would they do Wolverine's claws? And they decided what Mego would probably have done is make a glove that slips over a standard hand, and it would be part of the glove, and it would be all molded together, so it's not a choking hazard, and it's cheap. Mego was looking at cost when they made all this stuff. It would have been cheap for Mego to do.
And the way they did his gloves with the claws looks legit.
Mm-hmm.
I think they did a good job on this one. They got the different color yellows like you would have in Mego, the different color blues.
He has a removable mask, which is kind of a cool thing in the standard yellow Wolverine outfit. I mean, Twisted Toy Fair Theater, of course, had a Wolverine all the time who'd show up and harass Spider-Man. But this is really more Mego than that one even would have looked. But then, yeah, you get two other outfits. You get his, brown and orange outfit and his much more modern, I don't wear a costume outfit that comes with a wife beater and a leather jacket.
The leather jacket is super cute, too.
It's
Love
got like
it.
a fur-lined collar.
Yes.
Nice. He's got some kicking blue jeans, too, with little stitching work going on.
Yep. Just like the Hot Toy, actually.
That's what I was thinking when I saw the stitching on the pants, is it was reminding me of Hot Toy level of detail in these pants.
These are impressive.
Yeah, I'm totally in love with these, and now that I've got them in my hands, I will not hesitate. When Thor is released, and remember, Thor is coming like a Mego replica Thor, but then he's also coming with the first Dr. Donald Blake figure, I think, in history.
That's right. We saw the preview for this one. We thought it looked like that dentist figure from the Skeletor and He-Man line.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you'll get Thor with the classic helmet.
Mm-hmm. And then also just, I think, a big-haired Thor that looks kind of like a hair metal rocker.
Yeah.
This Thor had tremendously bad hair, but it was a trick to find good hair.
Yeah, but you found great hair on that one. I mean, it's bad from how it was sculpted.
Yeah.
But you found one where it wasn't all demolished.
That's correct.
But yeah, in that one, there's a classic Mego Thor that looks a lot like the one Marjorie bought me, a Dr. Donald Blake, and then an upgraded Thor that has like chainmail sleeves and a much bigger helmet and sculpted hair instead of the fabric hair.
The Barbie hair, right?
Yeah. That really just looks like he's teased it way too much.
Thorial.
But absolutely, pick these up. And right now, I just checked Amazon. These are on sale. I was a little nervous originally about the price. The Spider-Man set, MSRP $79.99, $53.74 at Amazon. The Cap set, $67.29.
Not too shabby.
Even the Wolverine's a few bucks off. He's only $76 with free shipping. So definitely keep an eye on these. And I think as word gets out about them, they're going to increase in collectability given that they're limited run of only 3,000. The only thing it's done to me now is I'm going to be talking to Marjorie about where she got her stands. And I asked Zach at one of the events, would they sell extra bodies? Because you're really getting 3 figures, but just $1. And Zach said, well, we don't have the license to sell just the bodies, but there's plenty of places online where you can buy them, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, and I'm betting Mego Museum might be that place.
That'd be a good place to start.
So rather than constantly playing dress up with my dolls, I think I'm going to be ordering some more bodies and just, instead of having 3 figures, all of a sudden I have 9.
Or even, check your Gordmans. They used to carry some of those DC ones, and if they have some of those laying around for $4 or $5, you could always tear those apart and just take the body off of those.
True, but I'm a purist. I want the Mego articulation. I want the Mego size. I want the Mego coloring. I want the notched joints, the ratchet joints in the knee.
Appreciated.
I mean, honestly, we've had a great year as Marvel collectors. There's been some amazing Hot Toys. Those Marvel Legends have blown me away. But when we do our year in review show, I honestly wonder if anything's going to impress me as far as action figures or replicas as much as these Diamond retro figures. They're that good to me.
Wow. That's a ringing endorsement right there, considering we're only halfway through the year and it's been, like you said, an impressive year of awesome stuff already.
Yeah, it's an embarrassing wealth of riches. But man, these are just any collector who had Megos. I'm looking at collectors basically in their 40s and up, maybe late 30s. Check these out and hear what I say, because I had my reservations until I got into this and realized this is done with incredible love. And really, when I see the detail that goes into it, totally justifies the price. Add a couple bucks. Add a couple bodies and you're really getting 3 figures for this price. Amazing. So thank you to Diamond for pulling the blindfold off my eyes on this awesome thing you've created that actually, in my mind, outstrips even your select figures.
Wow. Well, thank them also because they sent you an extra set and one of our lucky listeners is going to have a chance to take them home, right?
Absolutely. We are going to be doing this through our YouTube channel. If you haven't checked it out, we have a channel where we post a lot of videos, and not just videos from the show. We've done a couple bonus videos on there. Marjorie's unboxing video of the FX Collectibles Captain America shield, which is also very awesome and will win Prop of the Year hands down.
Oh, yes. Until the Winter Soldier's shield comes out.
Which probably won't be this year.
Yeah.
So go to the YouTube channel. In order to win this Diamond Select Toys Retro Captain America set, you have to subscribe to the YouTube channel and keep an eye on it. About a week after this show goes live, we will be posting to YouTube this segment of the review of the Diamond Select Toys retro figures. You have to subscribe to the channel and leave a comment on that video. And then from all the comments on that page, we will randomly select one and they will win this Captain America. And you only have from the time the video goes up until July 15th. We will be picking the winner on July 16th. So head to our YouTube channel. The link is from our homepage at marvelicioustoys.com. Subscribe and you will know immediately when this video goes live and you won't miss it.
Thanks for watching this video. You can see full episodes of Marvelicious Toys with more collecting news and reviews at marvelicioustoys.com. We also have thousands of toy and collectible photos in our photo gallery. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Until next time, make mine Marvelicious.